I'm hoping that during this devotion, we are able to actually open our eyes and see what the poorest of the poor might be going through in this season. Let me first share with you the state of affairs in our country, Uganda. All companies and organizations have been closed. While in the West, there is a talk of work from home, in Uganda, that talk looks and sounds very differently because very few companies have invested in internet or work off-site type ability to work. And so it's very, very complicated here to see many people actually lose their jobs in the process of their companies shutting down. Our government and our COVID-19 task force across the country has taken very extreme measures to say no private cars, no private vehicles are allowed on the road. And that's creating very, very serious consequences. Just 2 days ago, I had a gentleman called Julius. He's in his early 30s that called me. He had just lost his child. His wife was pregnant and they had no way of going to a hospital. And so they hired a lorry, which is supposed to be carrying cement and building materials. And that is the vehicle that they used to take this dear lady who was due to hospital. It seems something went so badly with the lady's body and affected the child. And so 2 days ago, this child passed away. We are currently in a rainy season. And this is the season when most farmers must be cultivating so that 3 months from now we are harvesting. Well, this quarantine period has also shut down farmers and any collective type of communal work. And in Uganda, there is very little modernization of agriculture. We do not have many farms that would have tractors that would dig. And so many people will cultivate in communities. They will dig in numbers of 5 or 10. And that has also been shut down, which means that if this rainy season passes and farming doesn't happen, then this crisis is likely to continue and cause a very sharp or steep lack of food in the next very many months, because the harvest that needs to come in a few months from now is what needs to be replanted, part of it, in order to achieve harvest 6 months or 9 months from now. And so as we think about it, that this crisis is actually deep and it has far-reaching consequences. So I'm hoping that our eyes can open and see what's actually going on in these nations. Pray that the church will be the church. The church is not supposed to operate from fear, but the people that are suffering the most are the poorest of the poor. What could be some things we could do? What are some practical things that we can pray to God and say, Father, I don't want to be asleep when all these things going on. The first one is opening the eyes of our donors, friends, and partners to see the poor, that they are some of the most affected by this, not just the disease per se or directly in their bodies, but all the actions that authorities are taking in order to curb or flatten the curve. But I also see that it's not just good to talk about some of the difficulties that are going on. So we've got to talk about some of the good that's going on. We've got to highlight it so that people might have hope. Fathers staying home to be with their wives and their children. People are spending more time in prayer and intercession. People are reading their Bibles more. People are reading more, just generally. So there's some good that's coming out of it. We must highlight also the amazing work being done by some of the diligent doctors and the workers and the critical caregivers. Because until people have hope, it becomes hard for them to see them that do not have hope. Hundreds of families across the world have been affected by COVID-19. And so my request to you is to pray. God wants us to see him as the answer, and that we are not the answer, that he is the answer. And so pray for these affected families and awaken some of the prayer disciplines that have been forgotten of old.